I'm working as a system engineer
This conference will
here
now be
in
recorded.
Kuwait. I have having an experience of 10 plus, and coming to my teaching experience, I've been doing this profile since last 3 years, and I was teaching with the Veritas Net Backup Solutions and the VMware as well. Apart from that, I was into the other platforms as well, which I'm teaching in online. Um, Coming to the Veritas part, uh, so Veritas is nothing but a backup solution, which was an enterprise solution. I can say it as it's 8.0, which we are going to start up with. It has a different versions when it comes to the 8.0, because previously we do have started from 5, and then it comes with 7.6, 7.7, and the current latest version is 8.1. We didn't go ahead with 8.1. Currently, it doesn't have much difference when it comes to the version. The major release was 8.0, and then they have enhanced on 8.1 at the security level. Uh, so we'll discuss this on the coming sessions, what exactly the major difference when it comes to 8.0 and 8.1. Okay, so basically the Veritas Net Backup is an enterprise backup solution uh, where we can configure the policies, and we can define the policies and the retentions on that. So who can attend these sessions? So basically the backup administrator and the system administrators who are working on this, so they can attend the sessions for this, and even the storage guys who are handling the storage. So these peoples can put hands on this particular solutions where it does not backup. Okay, so basically the object of this course is how we can define few things in order to protect the data at the enterprise level. So what exactly the data is, and how critical the data is for the organization. So when an organization is started, so they have some critical data. Okay, so that data needs to be provided whenever the user is requested at any point of time. So in that case, we need to define a policy, and we need to put a retention on that, and we need to give an SLA that at what point of time, or we have some defined RPOs and RTOs. Okay, which means at what point of time we can bring that server back at that time, or at what point of data we can retrieve it from that backup. So these need to be considered, and we need to provide an SLS to the organization or the team management or the business management, because this is very much critical. We need to make sure what is the SLA when anything disaster happens on this case. Okay, so we in this case, in this course, I will see how we can configure the storage units. Okay, what are the backup policies we can configure on it, and how we can restore those by using these policies, and what is the appliance, what kind of appliance we do have it in our Veritas Net Backup. And we'll go coming ahead classes, we'll see how we can define the storage lifecycle policies, and how we can protect the net backup configuration. Okay, so this is just a course outline where we are going through it. uh, these are the contents, we can say it as. So how we can configure the storage, and next configuring the policies and schedules, and how we can take the backup file level backups, and the rest of the things like configuring disk pools, media server duplication, performing virtual machine backups, deduplicating backups using SLPs. So SLP is nothing but storage lifecycle policy. Okay, and how we can protect the catalog backup. So this is very much important. We need to keep in mind that the catalog backup should be available at any point of time, so that we can recover back our net backup master server. Okay, so and the finally, like how we should collect the logs if any issues come up, and what are the things we need to look into it. So this is the course content where we are going through in the coming sessions. Okay, so what exactly is the data protection? Basically, the IT administrator nowadays, like we have huge data in each and every organization, okay, and we don't have much time to if any disaster happens, we should maintain a minimum downtime on that, so that the business should not impact on this, okay. So in order to maintain that minimum SLA, we need to plan according to that, and we need to put our data in such a way that at any point of time, if any user comes and requests the data, we should be in a state to restore it, okay. And we need to maintain in a secure way, either on tapes, either on the disks, okay. So it depends on us how we maintain the data, and we should make sure that whenever the organization comes to request any data, we should be in a state to restore it, okay. So what exactly the data protection, as I said you initially itself, we have an RPOs and RTOs. So RPO and RTO is nothing but a recovery point objective and recovery time objective. So basically whenever any crash or something happens on the data center level or at the server level, so we should define these RPOs and RTOs once we configure the policy, because see, basically we, in every organization, we have an internal audit and external audits. So when this happens, we should be in a state to define an SLA. As being a backup administrator, you should know how much critical the server is, and at what point of time you can recover that server, and what is the recovery time you can make it out. So it depends. Say for example, you have a domain controller server where it has been crash or something happened, the Windows corrupted or something, we need to define the SLA on that. So how critical is this server is. So first of all, you need to know what is the criticality of this server, and what is the recovery point. So at what point you can recover this server. Say for instance, yesterday or today, just now the server was crashed. So at what point you can recover? Maybe 1 hour before the crash, or half an hour before the crash. So these need to be noted at any point of time. So whereas the recovery time is nothing but the business impact, because the Active Directory or the domain controller is the main part where the users used to connect with their domain accounts, okay. So we should make sure that at the minimum time you should bring up, maybe 15 minutes or 10 minutes or half an hour something. We should define a recovery time objective, at what time we can recover this server. So these are the critical things which we need to look into it, and I will tell you how we can define these RPOs and RTOs in the coming sessions, okay. So as I said you, the SLA is a very important objective when it comes to the backup environment. So how we are backing up our data, either by disks or by the tapes, okay. So we have different methods. Normally in a big huge environment, they come up with both the tapes as well as on the disks, okay. So again, it depends on the infrastructure, how much you are spending on it. So appliance, we have different kind of appliance we have on the Veritas Net Backup. So it has its own features when it goes to the appliance, and it has different variants as well, okay. So, and we have different tape libraries. We have IBM tape libraries, we have storage Oracle storage tech tape libraries. So we have different vendors we have where you can opt from it, okay. Whichever plan you make it out, you need to make sure that the data is having a duplicate copy of that. If you're planning to put it on disks, make sure that you have a copy of that on the tape as well, if you think it is very much critical on that, okay. So basically what exactly the net backup environment looks like. So I'll just give an overview how the environment will be, okay, and then we'll go in deep what exactly how we can configure these things. So basically in the net backup, we do have a master server which is a Windows machine, okay, and the media server and the clients. So this is the basic picture or the architect, I can say it as. The master server could be a Windows, or master server could be an appliance. The same case with the media server. That you can have media as a Windows operating system, or you can have it as an appliance. Okay, so master is nothing but it has it's a main controller where you will define all these things, creating a policies, doing the restoration part. You will monitor your storage and everything. Okay, this is the main console where you do all the things. So this is the main backup administrator works on the daily basis on this master server. Whereas in media server, this is the part where we are trying to write the data on it, or the backup images are residing on it. Okay, so and the below part is the clients. The clients is nothing but the host which are going to backing up onto the disk as well as onto the tape. Okay, so this is the basic components, I can say it as, uh, and the hierarchy are different as per the SMB, small business units, or the enterprise level. Okay, maybe for the appliances, and maybe on the small scale you have only a master server and media server as alone, both as one. Okay, so it depends. So what exactly it does and how we can configure it, we can see it in the coming sessions. So this is just an overview of a net backup. We'll see in detail once we go in depth on in each and every session on this. Thank you. That was very short. Practical.
Hello.
Hi.